We get a lot of, is this speaker, fill in the blank, still worth it? So we decided to find out. We put together a list of the 10 worst speakers to invest in, and I have a feeling it's going to surprise you. Just because a loudspeaker made the list doesn't mean it's a bad speaker or that you made the wrong decision in your purchase. But if you haven't made a purchase yet, maybe pay attention. Because between manufacturer sales and the resale value on the secondhand market from sites like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and AudioGone, the speakers on this list suffer from pretty steep depreciation in the first 2 years. Again, try not to take it too hard if your favorite made the list. In fact, some of hi-fi industry's favorites, including ours, received a spot on this list. Now, if you want to know which speakers are worth investing in, hit that like button and leave a comment, and maybe we'll do that video soon. But for now, let's get into it. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Magico's award-winning speaker, the A5. This three-way tower speaker is made to the highest standards with performance to match and carries a retail price of just under $25,000 for the pair. You may be surprised to know that after just 1 year of ownership, existing customers can expect their speakers to lose roughly 23% of their value, with the average resale price hovering around $19,000 for new and, like new pairs, some even with warranties. Now, this one surprised me for two reasons. One, we have a pair of Cornwall 4s and we love them. And second, I would have thought that Klipsch's heritage products would hold their value over time due to their handcrafted pedigree and, well, just sheer nostalgia. Alas, this does not appear to be the case, as the market is saturated with new inbox as well as like new options going for as low as around $5,000. With an MSRP of roughly $6,600, you could save upwards of 24% on any given day purchasing them through other outlets. So for Cornwall 4 owners like myself, we may have to get real comfortable with our roughly $1,600 loss. Well, some of you may not be surprised by the Klipsch news. Internet darling Arendal doesn't appear to be immune to hi-fi depreciation either. While riding an absolute wave of popularity right now, the brand's costlier 1723 THX Tower speaker may be their most depreciated. With an Internet Direct price of about $3,900 for the pair, these currently resell for just under $3,000, resulting in a net loss of 26% in a single year. Now, admittedly, I don't know much about the Response DT8 from PROAC, except to say that it made numerous best of lists in 2023. With a retail price of just over $5,000 for the pair, the DT8 currently has an average resale price of roughly $3,700, which is a loss of nearly $1,400 or 26% depreciation in just 1 year. Another entry that seriously hurts my heart is the Klipsch La Scala. The La Scalas rank among my personal top 5 speakers of all time, and the one speaker that brought both Christy and me to tears for reasons that are not related to their depreciation. Retailing for just over $13,000, the current model can be found on sale new, open box, or secondhand for roughly $9,300. Oh, that 30% loss in 1 year sure stings. Now, this one didn't surprise me, given how fluid the price has been these past few years. Wharfedale's wildly popular Linton is a great speaker and a bona fide value, all things considered. But because even Wharfedale can't really decide what to charge for the Lintons, you should expect as much as a 33% loss in value within the first year of ownership, with the average resale price of even a new in-box pair of Lintons going for as low as $1,000. Can't say we're biased, because Sonus Faber's Lumina 2 ranks among one of my favorite two-way stand mount speakers that I've heard and own. They almost didn't make this list because there wasn't a large enough secondhand sample size initially to pull an average resale price. But around the holidays, a few sales popped up, and as a result, the relative value of the speaker dropped by nearly 35%. Now, I still consider this speaker to be a good value for two reasons. One, there are very few on the used market, at least few that I could find, and two, they don't go on sale often. So while a few deals could be had around Christmas, it would appear that things are back to normal and the Lumina 2s are commanding their full $1,300 a pair asking price. Another hugely popular indie brand with a truly great speaker is the Perlisten S4B, and it retails for just under $10,000. Now, we reviewed these late in 2022, and we love them, but despite all their accolades and fan frenzy, depreciation has not been kind to the S4B. The average resale price of a like-new pair comes in at around $6,100, meaning that since our review of the S4B, it has lost almost 40% of its value. This one gets the Yikes Award, coming in at number 2 of the worst speaker to invest in. These gorgeous handmade towers cost magico-like money at a little over $24,000 for the pair, but fare even worse than the A5s, with an annual depreciation, hold on to your butts, of up to 43%. That's right, the average resale value of a pair of YG Acoustics Carmel 2s is just south of $14,000, which means in less than 2 years of ownership, should you need to sell yours, brace for a $10,000 plus loss. This is bound to get me in hot water because I can already hear you. Yeah, but Andrew, they don't cost that much to begin with. Well, I don't know about you, but lighting my money on fire, even if it's $1, isn't something I call a hobby. It turns out that owning a pair of Sony SSCS5s is a great way to part with your hard-earned cash for little return. With an MSRP of just under $200, Sony's popular budget bookshelf, the CS5, it's just perpetually on sale, often as low as $80 for the pair, and even then it still isn't worth it. This alone is why they top our list with a single-year depreciation of over 50%. But given that the CS5 is the one speaker everyone seems to buy in order to find out if the hype is real, the secondhand market is just overloaded with like-new samples, some as low as $20. No joke. So if you bought a pair last year at retail and you need to sell them, expect to recoup as little as 10 cents on the dollar. That is a depreciation of 90% in 1 year. Oh, and for what it's worth, the CS5 appears to be one of the most returned loudspeakers on Amazon, according to the data. So there you have it, 10 of the highest depreciating loudspeakers of the past year. Are you surprised? Not surprised? Sound off and let us know what you think. And remember, if you want to learn about the 10 best loudspeakers to invest in, because if you think this list is surprising, be sure to like this video and comment below, because the 10 best list really shocked me. But hold up a minute, this ain't over. We don't end just like that. We gotta know what Christy thinks. So, what did you think about this list?
Well, I think that there's probably a lot of people that are going off to Google and searching up all these speakers and trying to find a really good deal.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, maybe this was a positive thing.
A public service.
It's public. Yeah, we're doing you a public service.
Well, single-handedly making sure that certain brands are like, and they're done.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh my gosh. I don't guess the list is too surprising.
I was surprised.
I know you were really surprised about the La Scala.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it, that speaker is so big, and it really, even from the beginning, like that's a speaker that is geared to a very small audience because of its size. Not everyone has the room size that can accommodate something like that.
Sure.
And they are expensive to boot. So it doesn't surprise me that the resale value is not great.
Okay.
Because again, we're already dealing with this like a micro audience, and then you're looking to try to unload them. Now you got to find someone else that's nearby that can come pick them up, load them home, and then find a place for them. So I think that would be the reason behind that particular speaker's depreciation. But I am curious to know what your feelings are as to what's happening here in general. Like, why do you think, or what do you think is maybe the biggest factor contributing to depreciation?
Well, I think you kind of hit it in your answer or your thoughts on the La Scala, in that, one, I've never considered hi-fi to be a good investment. And if we do the 10 best if we do the 10 best speakers to invest in video, even the ones that win, you could argue, and I'm sure people will in the comments if that video comes out, will argue like, well, that's still a lot of depreciation. But you got to keep things in relative perspective. I think at the end of the day, hi-fi is always just a niche thing. And any time that you are niched down this much, it really doesn't matter how much you spend to a certain degree. The audience is the audience. The customer base is the customer base. And if a customer has decided like they've got their best and last speaker already, that's one less person that may be interested in anything on any list, 10 worst, 10 best, right in the middle, and so it is not a hobby that is necessarily growing at the pace that I believe new products, innovations, and things are happening. And speakers are also really unique in that with, like, say, a receiver, 2 years go by, 3 years go by, there is new technology, there are new formats, there's new things that, I don't want to say force you, but give you a reason to need to upgrade, make a change, and thus keep the market kind of percolating. Speakers don't work like that typically. And I kept this list to very current speakers because we just got done with the end of the year and everyone's best of list, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to do this. But it doesn't change the fact that if a speaker was great, truly great, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that speaker is still valid today. You could have a pair of Focals, Wilsons, Kefs, or, Sonus Fabers, Klipsch, whatever, from 10, 15 years ago that you absolutely love and that are in great shape and continue to work. And just by buying, say, a Marantz Cinema 50 with all the new codecs, all of a sudden, all of those speakers are brought into the Atmos era or high-res audio hi-fi era. You know what I mean? The need, while speakers are very exciting, it's one of the number one things that hi-fi enthusiasts really like to learn about, look at, shop for, listen to, things like that. The true need for upgrading every year or every 2 years is pretty small. And so as a result, that shrinks the potential buyer pool even more. And I think that just ultimately fuels this depreciation because it is always, in my opinion, it's always going to be a buyer's market, not a seller's market, unless, of course, you are buying a brand that does two things. And I call this the Ferrari method. They produce something at an incredibly high level, and they purposely produce it at below, at below market demand. So there's always someone or a handful of people that can't get their hands on it. So if something is hyped, I'm using this as an example. This is just an example to put it in your mind. Take, for instance, a brand like Arundel, which in the last year or two has come out of nowhere, essentially, and has become a very it speaker to have. If you couldn't get your hands on an Arundel, even if they were a budget speaker or affordable speaker, but you couldn't get your hands on one, then I don't believe depreciation would hit that speaker as hard. But because businesses often live in a sort of volume business model, they're going to produce as many as they can sell. And as a result, if the fever dies down for a product, then you've got a lot of used samples floating around, which is the case with the Sony, SS-CS5. It's like Kleenex at that point. It's pretty much worthless.
I got one word for you. Nakamichi.
Yeah.
The dragon.
It would appear that Nakamichi, through either strategic thinking or what they claim is the reason, and that is just sheer manufacturing inefficiencies, either way, whether or not that product is good is irrelevant. It is a, quote, business model or a way of marketing something that I believe a lot of brands should pay really, really close attention to. Because not only do very few people have that product, which only fuels the mystery, but they've managed to maintain or command an absolute king's ransom and premium for something that like I said, not a lot of people can hear, experience, and thus prove wrong. You know, is it really worth it? I mean, it takes guts to put hundreds of thousands of units into circulation and then go for, you know, hey, we're the best of the best, because there's 100,000 possibilities for people to go, no, you're not. But if you say you're the best and you get a couple of people, you know, to say, yeah, they are, and then only 5 people can prove you wrong, it's really easy to control the narrative that way. And yeah, that's a really good catch. So,
well, that's it for me.
Oh, all right. Well,
keeping it short.
First video back, 2024. Hope you guys all had a great and safe new year, and we really appreciate everything that you did for us in 2023. And we hope that in 2024, you know, things are even better and more exciting. I know we're going to be making some changes here and there, but you're going to be along for the ride. So if there isn't anything else, that's it. That's the video. And I kind of already did a sign off, but again, let us know what you thought of the list down below. And again, if you want to see the 10 best loudspeakers to potentially invest in, go ahead, like this video, leave a comment, let us know what you want to see, and maybe we'll do that one. Maybe not next. We have a really cool speaker. We got a really cool speaker coming up next. But anyway, that's it for us today. If you like this video, thumbs up, like the whole 9 yards. If you use any of the links Christy's left for you down below, no, that's a great way that you've continued to show your support for the channel and the work that we do here. And we always thank you guys very much for doing that. Even if you don't do that, we thank you for just watching. Follow me on Instagram. You're going to want to do that, especially in 2024, because big plans, at Recovering Audiophile. Yeah. And that's it. So it is a new year, but it's not a new me here. So remember,
except for the mustache.
Thank you. Thought we'd have a little bit of fun. Anyway, the only person who has to like the sound of your system is you. So happy listening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back and watching this video, and see you on the next one.